What is good, y'all? It's your boy Deluxe back here again. Ooh, we back here with more tutorials. You see me, baby. I told you I wasn't gonna let y'all down. So today we got a nice little man bun tutorial, nice little undercut, mid fade with the beard, and I'm gonna also do like a little enhancement on him as well. First and foremost, always gotta brush and clean away the canvas. Make sure all the hair is going in the same direction before you start. And then, you know, starting with that bald fade, I always start. These are actually my Babyliss Pros. These are my go-tos to like take out bulk and stuff like that. But I'm just gonna put in a nice my first not transition, like, come on dog, my first bald guideline. I'm just gonna make it a mid fade, so kind of dip back a little beneath that little occipital bone. I like to go from one side and put that in, then do the same thing on the next side. That's usually just how I work my fades. Really, some people, you know, they like to go all the way around the head. Some like to do it a different way. I just like to put it one side then go on the other side. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and start my next guideline with the no guard on the wall seniors open, going about 3/4 of an inch up. Now, the thing I've been doing most recently with a lot of my fades is really trying to get my guidelines more even for one and more clean for two. What that's gonna do is that's gonna do two things. One, it's gonna space out your fades more evenly and make sure all that spacing in between is gonna be a lot cleaner. And number two, it's gonna take, it's not, if you take down the hair all evenly, it's gonna take a lot less time actually to fade out the hair. Surprisingly, when the hair's evened out and you don't have a lot more hair left to fade out, shit's kind of easier. From there, I'm just gonna go ahead and lever play it from close halfway to open, take out that guideline, and then same thing with the one guard, going about 3/4 inch, still working on that evenness, still working on keeping that same width throughout all the way. And keeping that same shape that I made it with that initial guideline. That initial guideline is very, very key when doing you know, when you want to create like a fade on the head, because that's really like going to be the setup for everything else coming there afterwards. So you really want to focus on not making it a straight line and make it more of a curve. Next thing we're gonna do is, after we fade that out with the 0 guard close halfway open, I'm going to put my 1.5 guard on, still go up about 3/4 inch, and then instead of going to my 1 guard to fade up, I'm actually gonna work my way down from a 3 guard, because I don't want to push that fade up too high, especially with a man bun. I'm gonna run out of room eventually, and I want to make sure that I keep enough darkness up there to still see a good transition. So I'm working with a 3 guard, make sure that's my base for everything up top, and then work my way all the way down to a 1.5 guard. So then I slap on the 2 guard, open halfway close, working my way down, and then I'm gonna put on the 1.5 guard, open halfway close, working down, and then after that, then I'm gonna whip out my 1 guard and kind of fade out. You're gonna see me kind of point. Hold on, we gotta wait for this. There you go. You're gonna point me right where that, like, there's slight dark line. If you pay attention really close, you can get lost in the fading steps sometimes when whatever fades you're doing. You just have to have a really keen eye and understand where your platforms are being set at. If you know general areas where everything's at, you can kind of point out like the small differences of like the darker spots or like the darker lines are. After that, now I'm gonna go ahead and take out the bulk. I always like saving the bulk for later on, just because you know, a lot of people like to put it in and do it first, but I hate wasting time, bro. Honestly, I'd rather just get right into the fade, stop wasting time, and I can always come back and bald them out later. Like I said, those Babyliss are like my favorite balding clippers to use, or clippers to take out bulk. They are missing a couple teeth. Yo, Babyliss, if you are watching this video, anyone associated with Babyliss Pro, let me know when there's gonna be like a restock on some blades. I've been trying to search for some things to kind of get a new blade. Y'all made it a little tricky for barbers too, to like 0 gap your shit. I wasn't too happy about that, but once you get 0 gap, it's hitting. But I've been hesitant on getting a new blade because y'all, you're making it way too hard on barbers to 0 gap it and modify it, and like you want us to have like a really, I mean, out of the box, it's not the best clipper. I'm gonna be quite honest, but once you get it hitting, let me tell you, those are the ones when they're hitting. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and take my Andis shavers, and I'm actually gonna take it pretty close to what I made that first bald guideline to. And I really want to make sure this transition from the baldness to the no guard is really tight. So after I put in that bald guideline, you're gonna see me take out my Andis Fade Masters and go ahead and lever play from, like, I think I start with halfway, and then I'm gonna go to open and then close it up a little bit. You're gonna see me just pick out some darker spots Well, first, before that, you're gonna see me break up my end to Slimline Pros, and that's really just kind of get that very, very bottom line out, and then after that will be the Endless Fade Masters. So all I'm doing here is I'm not using the full clipper. I'm kind of using like different parts of different points of the clipper. Sometimes I'll use like a couple teeth. Sometimes I'll use only that point. Sometimes I'll use like in the middle of it, but nothing else touching the head. Like I kind of flip around. It's really like you gotta have a feel for your clippers. I remember Chuka made a video a while ago, and he said that you gotta be in tune with your clippers. And I believe that to the fullest. There's like a hum. There's like a feel to the clippers, a vibration that they give off that they're tuned to, and that motor is going, those clippers are moving at a certain speed, and you gotta be in tune with that and to be able to cut at the efficient level as possible. If you're trying to overwork it, your clipper's gonna get jammed up, and you're gonna have to work twice as hard just to kind of slow yourself down and to be able to fade quickly. If you're underusing them, I mean, your shit's gonna take forever to cut. So you gotta be really in tune and really feel for your clippers of where they're gonna be hitting at best, and what speed of you know, how you're kind of going throughout the whole head is gonna be working at its best. Next, this is kind of just like my refining stage. Of course, I kind of got like I like to call it the rough draft first, even though it's like, you know, I went through the whole fade, but that's still a rough draft. Right here, I'm really just focusing on like picking out and dark spots. That's all I'm really focusing on. And throughout this whole process, I am working my way down. I'm not I'm not trying to go up anymore with the fade. I'm not trying to push up the fade any higher. I'm really just trying to if I was taking an eraser, right, and I was trying to erase like some marks, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just trying to erase some darker spots in the hair. Well, barbers, it is like the holidays, and you know, the holiday cuts have been grueling on a lot of people. I remember, you know, when I first started cutting, I didn't really know like the rules of like taking clients and like staying after hours and shit like that. The one thing I want to voice to y'all today is just make sure you're charging for your time. If a client comes into you, hasn't booked, or is trying to press you to go ahead and like squeeze them in. It happened today at the shop, and I observed it, and I was like, you know, you have to go ahead and know your limits. You're working these long hours throughout these days. You know, mistakes happen. Some clients, you know, they forget to make appointments. But really, like you gotta think about yourself, because it's your body. Like if you're overworking yourself, you might need to take a little bit of a break sometimes. Okay. At the same time, if you're fitting in after hour cuts for like $10 a pop, you're highly undervaluing yourself. You know, I always say it like $10 is not an after hour charge or after hour fee. It's a tip. You feel me? So definitely, like for those who are staying overtime in the shop around this time of the year, especially with, you know, like Christmas and New Year's being on like I think it's like a Sunday, Monday type deal. So those kind of like off days. Make sure you're charging for you guys like what it will take for you guys to go into the shop and be cutting. You know, I know some people are in binds with bills, or you know, like thinking money first, but definitely want to make sure you guys are getting paid for what you're worth. Especially if you have a high demand of clientele, because you know, one thing I was telling somebody today, you know, you let one of your clients you know, buy with coming in, throwing extra $10 at you to squeeze them in last minute, you just confirm to them that that's okay to do, and that they can get away with that. They can get away with it once, more times than not. People will think they can get away with it multiple times. Not for everybody, all right? Don't think I'm just talking about everybody, generalizing everybody. But a lot of clients, you know, if they come in, if they don't make an appointment, like it's the holidays, you should know to make an appointment. You know, it's general courteous thing to do. And you know, I was talking to a barber, and he was just like, well, you know, like it's just one time. I'm like, bro, it's not one time. You know, that you just confirmed to him he's allowed to go ahead and do this. If he's in a bind again, he can just throw you just a couple bucks and you'll stay here, you know. And you're not, I don't want to call it training your clients, but you definitely want to train your clients to be able to respect your time and know that they need to book in advance. You know, that's basically the point I'm trying to get here. Make sure, you know, your clients know that the only way that they can get an appointment with you or get a cut by you is by booking in advance. And anything else, I think it should be charged, you know, an extra $100 on top of that. That's just because I value my time, and I believe my time is worth a lot, and because of, you know, the other things I invest my time in. I think you should also value that your time as well as that too. Now going ahead and into the beard, he doesn't have the most thickest beards. He does have a couple patches here and there, especially under the chin, but you know, we're trying to work it out. We're trying to grow it out a little bit on my boy. But basically all I'm doing is I'm kind of like extending the taper a little bit. You know, he doesn't have that full beard, so I can kind of get away with shading and blending it in, but I'm not trying to take it down too light, and try to keep it in that general ear area. Another thing I just want to like kind of talk about too today. I know I've given y'all some game on these YouTube videos, but more just like I've been pressed for the YouTube videos. You feel me? My boy Nick has been helping me out with editing and everything like that, so it's allowed me to really be more free thinking instead of like, all right, gotta get the content out. Let's just get this shit out. But another thing I want to talk about as I go through the mustache part of the tutorial, but really is like, I get a lot of people in my DMs asking me about, like, you know, what shops should be best for them, and they don't know what shop they should go to, you know, percentage wise or booth rent. And for the barbers, you know, I've never understood. I understand to an extent why you'd want to go percentage wise, you know, especially if you're a new barber, new to the area. You want to go ahead and take advantage of, like, oh, you're scared of, like, you know, you don't know anybody there, you're not going to have enough clientele, you don't want to, you know, be behind on bills. But that comes from a scarcity mindset, and I'm very mindset driven in terms of, like, you know, what you think and how you act and principles and everything like that. You know, and I think if you're coming from the mindset of, like, of scarcity, of like, oh, there's not enough clients around, or I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to make enough money, that's really, like I said before, it's coming from a mindset of fear. And you don't ever want a fearful mindset when you're going into business. You want to have a very plentiful and abundant mindset. If you read, you know, if you guys read any book, especially Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he talks about that. He talks about, you know, there are a lot of fears that hold us back from making more money or having more success in whatever area we want to, because of a fearful mindset and the fears that we have trapped in our mind. So I think percentage wise, I think it's a cop out just for, like, you know, like you want to make excuses of you don't have enough clientele, you're afraid that, you know, the shop's not busy. Look, the shop is there for you. The shop is there, a place there for you to be able to go ahead and just have a place to cut at. It's not a place that you should rely on getting haircuts in. You know, you should be supplying your own customers, your own clients, whether it be going out on foot, handing out business cards, shaking hands, letting people know who you are, networking, or social media as well too. You know, as you guys know, I have a social media course out. I'm not going to go into that, but, you know, it definitely helps you guys with gaining more clients. But, I always say, you know, it's definitely scary, but anything scary or anything that you're fearful of, you should definitely move towards, because you don't want to have that to have power over you. The quicker that you can get into a shop that is, you know, more, not commission wise, but more booth rent wise, to where you're being forced to pay a booth rent every week, to where you're being forced to be able to create your own clientele. The more pressure you can put on yourself, the better you're going to become. What is it? Pressure creates diamonds. You know, you have to be, at some point, you're going to have pressure put on you if you ever want to be successful, especially in the barber game. It's a very self-employed, self-owned type thing, and you're going to have to be able to get out on your own and be able to promote yourself in some type of way. As we look at my dirty ass little note card, but definitely would recommend more of going to a shop that is more booth rent oriented. Right here is also this is Jesse Elite's dye, by the way, that I'm using on his beard. I actually just bought Chris Bassio's. He came out 245. What's it called? A little dye enhancement. So I think for one of my next tutorials, I'm gonna go ahead and use that and give you guys a little feedback on that. But that is the end of this tutorial. Very nice and faded up, very nice and clean, on point, not too light up top. I made sure to keep that darkness up top by those by his undercut. But make sure you guys, you know, like and subscribe if you fuck with this video. I appreciate y'all for staying with me. I know I was off my game for a little while, but those who are always continue to show support, trust me, me. We back. We're here to stay. I'm planning on taking over a couple more platforms too and expanding this shit. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, as well as make sure to follow me on Instagram for daily content and updates, as well as games. If you guys ever have a question, make sure you reach out to me in the DM. Don't be mad if I don't get back to you. I get a lot of DMs, and I'm a little busy, but I will try my best to get back to you, especially with the little voice message thing. But, Instagram is the same as the YouTube, Deluxe_. Other than that, y'all, make sure to tune back in next Sunday on Deluxe Sundays. All right, y'all, I'm about to get fucked up at the club tonight. It's my birthday week, December 19th, baby. Sagittarius in this motherfucker. You know what the fuck going on. All right, y'all, we out.